So we now have our third session of the FTP, and that is the relationship between culture, society, and education by Professor Kapil Kapoor. So Professor Kapil Kapoor, born 17 November 1940, is an Indian scholar of linguistics and literature and an authority on Indian intellectual traditions. He is a former pro-vice chancellor of Jawaharlal Nehru University and served as a professor at the Center of Linguistics and English and at the Center for Sanskrit Studies before retiring in 2005. He is the editor-in-chief of the 11-volume Encyclopedia of Hinduism, published by Rupa and Company in 2012. Professor Kapoor has been teaching for 52 years.
60 years.
60 years.
In fact, 62.
62 years. 41 scholars have worked.
I hope you said I am teaching and you didn't say I have been cheating for 62 years. Huh? Only teaching.
And he has 41 scholars who have been guided under his tutelage for their PhD and 36 for their MPhil. He was also the Dean of the School of Linguistics, Literature and Culture Studies, JNU, and the Rector, that is the Pro-Vice Chancellor of the University. In 2018, he was appointed as the Chairperson of the Indian Institute of Advanced Study at Shimla, where he continues to serve, and he was also the Chancellor of Mahatma Gandhi Antarashtriya Hindi Vishwavidyalaya at Wardha. So over to Professor Kapoor for the session titled Relationship Between Culture, Society and Education. Sir, आपका mic
Yeah, I'm on.
अभी unmute है, muted है sir. अब ठीक.
It's okay. Namaskar ji. Namaskar. 3 times lucky. I had sent Richa ji. I had sent a PPT.
Yes, sir. We have received.
Is that going to be played?
Yes.
And how is it going to be played? I mean, can you show it to everybody?
Yes, sir. Sri Hari is
please.
Showing, he's sharing the screen. Sir, आप देख ले ये वही वाला है ना जो आप चाहते हैं.
हाँ जी, यही है. Our subject today is culture, society, and education. In other words, we are going to look at education in its relationship to society and culture. And we are not looking at what subjects to teach and what should be the courses and how many years it should take to get you a degree or a postgraduate degree or a research degree. We're going to look at the general question of the interrelationship of society, culture, and education. In the recent times, particularly after the British, there has been great loud talking and speaking about education. We have had a very long history of Shiksha Paddhati, Shiksha. We have a long history of teaching. We don't have a long history of education, but because of long history of teaching and learning, rather learning and teaching, long history of learning and teaching, perhaps the world's longest history. We had universities in roughly 1000 BC. We had the Taxila University. And you can imagine that the first European university was set up somewhat in the 14th century, 15th century, 14th century. So maybe 13th, end of 13th and early 14th century. So we had universities almost 2000 years before Europe thought of a university. And Taxila University had produced very great teachers, great thinkers. You had Charak, who wrote the Materia Medica of Ayurveda. You had Panini, who wrote the great grammar, 7th century BC grammar, which is the only complete, explicit and rule-bound comprehensive grammar of a natural language. And we had Patanjali, we had Kautilya, great thinkers, people who have left a lasting mark on human civilization. And therefore, may I request you, Raja? Just a minute.
So we have lost your voice, Professor Kapoor. Are you there?
Yeah, I am very much there. I went just went a little away.
Ji, sir.
Back. So we are talking today more of not of the course structure and the examination system and also what it does, but general terms. Now, first of all, there is a difference. Educate people. To educate people has an assumption that people need to be educated. That without education, they will be poorer specimen of human beings. This is not true. In fact, the education system that has developed these days, which is addressed at the masses, is more an instrument of other purposes than the purpose of making better human beings or creating knowledgeable human beings, people who have knowledge. So I think educate itself is an imperative. It's a kind of, there is an assumption, just as, for example, in the word development, there is an assumption that the people are backward, that the things are backward, and they have to be developed. And as the time passes, things will improve and all that. So that is one. Now, this is not true. I would like to acknowledge the name of a very fine scholar, David Orr, who many years ago, whose article I read about education, and he talks about 6 myths of education. Myths. Education के बारे में 6 भ्रांतियां हैं, भ्रांतियां शिक्षा के बारे में. शिक्षा के बारे में नहीं, शिक्षा व्यवस्था के बारे में. Make the distinction between what I am saying. We used in our tradition, the great teachers called gurus, they used to choose their students themselves, and they were adhikaris, those who really deserved, who had the ability to acquire knowledge. And the purpose of education, purpose of teaching, learning in those days was knowledge, not information. Information is involved in knowledge because you see certain things and then you infer and you acquire, and from knowledge you go to wisdom. But then there was this, we had this system. But today education, the kind of education vyavastha system, mass education, in those days प्रयाग के पास भारद्वाज जी का केंद्र था शिक्षा का, और वो कुलपति थे. कुलपति को आजकल वाइस चांसलर कहते हैं. और कुलपति उन दिनों में वो होता था, वो ज्ञानी, वो गुरु होता था जो अपने पैसे से 10,000 शिष्यों को खिलाता, पिलाता और पढ़ाता था, अपने पैसे से, सरकार से अनुदान लेके नहीं. तभी तो राजा भी आके उनके पैर छूते थे. आजकल तो हमारे वाइस चांसलर मिनिस्ट्री में बैठे रहते हैं, कॉरिडोर में मिनिस्ट्री के कॉरिडोर में बैठे रहते हैं. तो ये जो शिक्षा व्यवस्था है, इसके बारे में डेविड और has said there are 6 myths about education. The first one is that as knowledge advances through education, the knowledge पे भी kindly reflect on the word knowledge. There was a knowledge bandwagon in the 90s. Everybody was jumping onto the knowledge bandwagon. And that was the time when Sam Pitroda was brought to India, and by Rajiv Gandhi ji, and they had created a knowledge commission. India Knowledge Commission. India is fond of the word commission since the Simon Commission, because we had a Simon Commission. So we every time set up a commission. So there was a knowledge commission headed by Sam Pitroda. And Sam Pitroda ji, produced a report whose first sentence was market. अगर आपने पढ़ी नहीं है तो kindly read the Knowledge Commission report. Kindly read it, very educative. The first sentence is, now we will make India a knowledge society. Look at this sentence. Now, that is sometime in 90 or 90, 89, 88. Now we will make India a knowledge society. What is the underlining assumption? That so far, India has been an ignorant society. So we will now make India a knowledge society. And how will we make it? We will make it, he said, through two things, through computer and through English. So the definition of a vidwan, हमारे देश में विद्वान शब्द बहुत बड़ा था और विद्वान उसको कहते थे जो वेद उपनिषद ब्राह्मण प्रातिशाख्या धर्म ग्रंथ बौद्ध धर्म जैन धर्म श्रमण संप्रदाय सब कुछ जानता था, सब यहाँ रखा होता था दिमाग में। पर विद्वान की डेफिनेशन अब बन गई जिसको कंप्यूटर चलाना आता है और जिसको अंग्रेजी आती है। एंड ऑल द रेस्ट आर फुलिश पीपल। And I'm glad that large number of Indians are foolish because they are foolish, they are happy, and they are also they are not only happy, they are also very wise. Anyways, so you see, knowledge society through computer and English, and he said that we will teach English to every Indian, and then he says that in 200 years of English teaching, 150 years of English teaching, we have been able to teach only 10% of people. So if you are going to teach English, good English, to the whole people, you will need how much time? You will need 1500 years. 1500 years. So a long-term project hai, knowledge society. Now let me tell you that contrary to this foolish assumptions, and I had the occasion to address the Knowledge Commission members and tell them all the things that I am telling you. Contrary to that, India has been a knowledge-centered civilization from the beginning. The world's oldest knowledge-centered civilization. Oldest. Rig Veda cannot be dated, has not been dated, but from the other texts, from the assumptions, other events, and recent excavations, Sanoli, where you found a chariot which is 7,000 years old, and Mehrangarh, where you found irrigated fields more than 7,000 years old. So, if you had such technology to build rath or to irrigate and the Harappa has a drainage system which is the envy of even modern cities. And the first flushed toilet was in Harappa. And that is about 6,000 years. 6,000 years. Now see, it's a civilization which certainly goes back to more than 10,000 years. You don't suddenly start building good roads and good drainage and good raths and start cultivating and produce large agriculture all of a sudden. How many thousands of years of experience and learning must have gone? So this is India is the world's first and the oldest knowledge-centered society because our literature, Vedic literature, is the oldest literature of the world and it is knowledge literature. ये knowledge literature है पहली बात। तो knowledge को मैंने कहा शब्द से शुरू करेंगे तो इंडिया को उन्होंने अब बनाना शुरू करना है, but India is a knowledge centered civilization from the beginning. knowledge का पहले अर्थ ज्ञान जिसको हम कहते हैं, वो ज्ञान जो है वो ये नहीं कि आर्मीनिया की कैपिटल कौन सी है और बांग्लादेश में पॉपुलेशन का क्या नंबर है। ये जो इंफॉर्मेशन है, a distinction is made between information and knowledge. In the 90s, in the knowledge bandwagon, information was treated as knowledge. And knowledge that way, you see, is all that can be digitalized. Digitalized. What you can digitalize is knowledge. So knowledge is, that is why through the computer, you are going to educate a whole lot of people. Whole lot of people. आप मेरी बात समझ रहे हैं? Digitalization. Knowledge is what can be digitalized. But a Japanese philosopher pointed out that knowledge is of two kinds. That can be digitalized and that cannot be digitalized. That is, there is a knowledge of things which are outside you, which you can see, hear, count, and there is knowledge inside you. Your sorrow, your happiness, your joy, your anxiety, you cannot measure them. You can't ask anybody, how much happy you are. He can't say 9%, 10% or 5%. You can't ask anybody, where are you happy? Are you happy in your fingers or in your head or in your legs? You are happy all over. So it's not localized. It's not something which can be counted, observed, quantified and all that. So any case, तो पहला myth जो education का myth है, education system का, that as knowledge advances, ignorance is reduced. This is a myth. In fact, every advance of knowledge creates a parallel zone of ignorance. In fact, you destroy, when you create a new knowledge, you destroy some existing knowledge. Some existing knowledge. For example, when writing was invented, the beauty of speech, the excellence of speech, the measure was lost. And when you invented the typewriter, then calligraphy was lost. You see, when people wrote with their hand, they wrote beautifully. But typing, the value from beauty, the value became speed. Speed, 45 words a minute, 50 words a minute. And now you have, in fact, a kind of a technology. When you have the computer, you have created the ability to store information in a machine, but at the cost of the capacity of the human mind to store information. Your human memory. We even have today traditional scholars who hold the entire body of knowledge literature in their mind. And their reference is so quick, faster than the computer. Anyways, तो ये जो रिलेशनशिप है एजुकेशन का सोसाइटी से, ये मानना कि ज्ञान बढ़ेगा तो इग्नोरेंस कम हो जाएगी, नहीं. ज्ञान एक बढ़ेगा, दूसरी जगह इग्नोरेंस हो जाएगी. आप लाइट जलाओगे एक कमरे में तो दूसरे कमरे में अंधेरा हो जाता है. Second myth is that if we have sufficient knowledge, then we can control and manage the planet. Education, why education is necessary? Because the more knowledge we collect, then we are easier to manage the planet. Now, managing the planet, you can't manage Delhi's pollution. You could not manage COVID-19 with all your science, all your technology, all your advances. You could not manage a little small virus. And you are talking of managing the planet. What we can manage with our education is only our political systems, our desires, our needs, and we can realize that's all. But we cannot manage the planet. In fact, the planet is endangered by mankind. Mankind is a danger to the planet. Do you recall that when the COVID was very bad, do you remember that animals all came out and they started walking in the streets because man has encroached on the life and space of other beings. And the other beings, they do not destroy the planet. They do not eat more than they need. They do not exploit the planet. Human being does. So the idea that with all the science you can manage the planet, I think it has been exploded by COVID-19. And third, that knowledge, because knowledge is increasing, so human goodness is increasing. हम क्यों पढ़ाते हैं? हम इसलिए पढ़ाते हैं कि लोग अच्छे बने, पढ़ लिख के अच्छे, पढ़े लिखे आदमी. व्हाट इज ए पढ़ा लिखा आदमी? ए पढ़ा लिखा आदमी मतलब है वो अच्छा आदमी है, ठीक सोचता है, ठीक काम करता है. बट इज इट ट्रू? टेल मी, इज इट ट्रू? जितना पढ़ा लिखा है उतना ही शैतान होता है. जितना ज्यादा हम उसको पढ़ाते लिखाते हैं उतना ही वो क्लेवर और कनिंग हो जाता है. He is able to tell lies in a convincing manner. In a convincing manner. Human goodness does not increase with the increase in information. In fact, human goodness decreases. I think somewhere I quoted Yevgeny Yevtushenko, the Russian poet, who said, education makes us better scoundrels because we do a wrong and then we are able to justify it, find an explanation, you know, जैसे what I call explanatory psychology. These days, when suppose a young boy, child, 13, 12-year-old, you know, he kills his own mother, and then the court says he's a juvenile. Or in the case of that great rape that took place in Delhi, I mean, the boy who committed such a heinous crime, so we have explanatory psychology. He is a juvenile, so he is sent to a juvenile home. So the idea that you see we are able to increase the goodness and all that is also nonsense. Then the next myth is that that what we lose, we can restore with our knowledge. No. If you lose a certain knowledge, you will not be able to regain it. The pillar in Delhi, iron pillar, rust-proof iron pillar, single piece of hundreds of tons, which no European foundry could have manufactured even in the middle of the 19th century. That pillar is dated 4th century AD, 4th century. The technology is lost. We cannot today replicate that pillar. Ashtadhatu, जिसकी हमारी मूर्तियां बनती थी, we cannot do that. Anyways. And the fifth one is that our you see, our culture will be more, our culture will be enriched with knowledge. In fact, what is happening is that with more and more education, our folk culture, our folk arts, our folk songs, they are getting lost, and we are creating special institutions to, you know, preserve. जो चीज खो जाती है उसके लिए हम फिर म्यूजियम बनाते हैं, उसके लिए प्रिजर्व करने के लिए कुछ करते हैं. तो इसलिए पहला भाग दिमाग से निकाल दीजिए कि एजुकेशन बहुत अच्छी चीज है, जैसे डेमोक्रेसी बहुत अच्छी चीज है. ये रोमांटिक नोशंस है. Human civilization has lived without them for thousands of years, particularly Indian civilization has lived without mass education, has lived without ballot box democracy for thousands of years, and has created a very long living, the only long living happy civilization that the world has ever seen. You see? So iske baad, now keeping this in mind, I will now take you to, I was in a rural girls' university from 2010 to 2014. I think I was 70 years and 70 to 74. I was in the rural girls' university, BPS Women University. Just tell me that everybody can read this thing which is being shown. Richa ji, people can read?
I think so, sir. Just a moment. Is it okay with everyone? Are you able to see the slides clearly? If you can just put it a thumbs up or something. Yes. Yes, sir, it is fine.
है, देख रहे हैं साबी
जी जी
जी। देखिए, बीपीएस विमेन यूनिवर्सिटी, ये जो एब्रीविएशंस है ना, ये भी हमारी आजकल की फॉली है। हम अपना नाम तो बड़े ध्यान से बताते हैं, दूसरे का नाम हम छोटा कर देते हैं। ये बीपीएस क्या है? भगत फूल सिंह विमेन यूनिवर्सिटी। हु वाज भगत फूल सिंह? Bhagat Phul Singh was a Jat in 1936. In 1936, he set up a school for girls in the village of Kanpur. 1936. This was the sixth school of India for girls. And he set up a school for girls. First, the Jat Hindu girls came, only three girls came. And gradually the number was increasing. But then the Muslim Jat girls also wanted to learn. So their parents took objection, and Bhagat Phul Singh was shot dead by one of the parents whose girl wanted to be taught. And if you go to that university, you see those buildings behind on the side, on the right side. When you go to there is a huge old people tree under which he used to meet his classes. Bhagat Phul Singh used to sit under that tree, and three girls used to come, and he used to teach them. Gradually, the number increased. Not very much, but considerably increased. He used to teach them there, and he was shot while he was teaching. These days, in that university, on that very day, there is a Havan ceremony. Havan ceremony for now. This is a relationship between education and society, how society reacts to education. Even today, luckily, now our large majority of our parents are very keen to educate their girls. But there was a time when, people did not want to educate the girls because of two reasons. One, those days were very unsafe for young girls going out. There were, clashes, there were riots. And secondly, the more the girl was educated, the more difficult it became for the parents to get a boy for him. Those were the days. But today, things are changing. Things have changed considerably, and we are in a different times. So in those days, he set up this university. And in that university, when I went there, it is a it is a rural area. Kanpur Kala is a village, and around that, the three towns. One town, Panipat, is about 40 kilometers. Sonipat is about 28 kilometers, and Rohtak is about 35 kilometers. So there are three towns around that small village. And when I went there, there was no chemist, there was no doctor, there were no polythene bags. Everything was natural. Small shops, people cooking, samosas and jalebis, and milk was pure, and there were no doctors and no medicines. If you needed a medicine, you had to go to 40 kilometers to, another place for all that. So there, when I started, when I started, uh, because it was a beginning, and Dr. Pankaj Mittal who now is the additional secretary of Association of Indian Universities. She was the vice chancellor, and she let me do a lot. You will allow me to another room because some work is going on and it will be disturbing here. So give me 1 minute. I will just shift to the other room. Okay. कहाँ जाऊँ मैं? यहाँ भी जगह नहीं है ना? हाँ। sorry. These are the some of these routine गृहस्थ आश्रम की बातें हैं. घर में थोड़ी रिपेयर हो रही है, and I was getting the noise, so I'm coming here. So I was telling you about this gentleman at this university, and I had mentioned Dr. Pankaj Mittalji, who is now additional secretary in the Association of Indian Universities. She was very kind, and she was very good, and she told me, because this was a Gurukul since 1936, but in 2008, the Haryana government made it a university. So in fact, it was beginning to be a university, and we had to plan and think and, and vision what the university should be, like the Rashtram people are doing these days for the last some few years. So I set up, I is a bad word, we set up Center for University Society Interface and Research. विश्वविद्यालय समाज अंतर संबंध अनुसंधान केंद्र. विश्वविद्यालय समाज अंतर संबंध अनुसंधान केंद्र बनाया. And let's go to the next slide, please. So you see mostly women sitting there. Can we go to the next slide? Hello? Yeah. Now, can you enlarge it? Can you enlarge it? Zoom karke. Yeah. So that, sorry. You see, we set up this center, and if you read some of the things there, why did we set up this center? CSUIR, Center for Society University Interface Research. Go down, lift it up, please, little bit. Wait a minute. Yeah. Integrated Energy Resource Management. This is one of the things that we wanted to do. Integrated Energy Resource Management. Because in the villages around us, you see, electricity was very, very undependable. 24 hours, it will come for either 1 hour or 2 hours or 3 hours. And then the other source of energy was the cow dung. And third was cow dung into the gas, the gobar gas plants and so on. So we thought that we should develop a system of integrating various sources of energy so that a village can become autonomous in its energy needs. Go to the next number 2, microfinance practices. You see, small loans, so that women of the villages can start some small work, because they are very, very gifted. They have, in fact, a little later you will see, we have described the village woman as a knowledge resource. They are a great knowledge resource. Achar banana, kadhai bunai karna, or water management karna. They are a reservoir of knowledge. So if we could give them small savings scheme, they could, start little bit, for example, mushroom plantation, mushroom growth, and so on. So this we wanted to do this in this center. Then go down again. Third one, where is the third one, please? Third, dekhiye. Third is, folk medicine. The rural women, rural mothers and grandmothers, they are doctors. They are very good doctors. बहुत जबरदस्त आयुर्वेदिक ज्ञान है उनको, medicine का. And 90%, 95%, there was no doctor and no chemist in the village, because he was not needed. The mother in the house was the doctor, and she folk medicine. But this knowledge was getting lost. I just told you that one of the myths of modern education is that as your knowledge increases, then everything is fine and nothing is lost. If something is lost, we can restore it. We cannot restore it. जैसे ऑल इंडिया इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ मेडिकल साइंसेज बनी, जैसे ये एलोपैथी मेडिसिन आई, हमारे वैद हकीम जो थे, they were marginalized. I don't know whether I should be going into these stories, but in this BPS university itself, when it was established as a Gurukul, then Gurukul, and Ayurveda Shala was also created there. So Ayurveda Shala, and it was now Ayurveda College, is a part of the university. I myself once went there because I had a little cough and cold, and I made a parchi of 2 rupees, 2 rupees, and in 2 rupees, the doctor, the Ved, जो उनके थे आयुर्वेद वाले, he spent half an hour with me asking me what I have been eating, what I have been doing, and then he gave me a prescription, and the medicine was given free. Given free. Now, after 3 years, 4 years, in the same university, a modern college of medicine was established. A modern college, and it is still there. It's the BPS College of Medicine, College and Hospital, College of Medicine and Hospital. So what happened in the Ayurveda college? Every day about 150 patients used to come. But when this allopathy college hospital was opened, allopathy was opened, the number fell to 10. Everybody started going to allopathy because it is the buzzword. नया है सर, बड़ी जबरदस्त बिल्डिंग देखिए, और देखिए क्या कमरे हैं, और कितनी चाकू छुरियां, और कितनी दवाइयां, और पेटेंट दवाइयां. And suddenly 5-7 chemists also came up on the roadside, and patients went there. But 1 year later, again, the Ayurveda college had 100 people again. So 90 people of the under 20 who went to allopathy, they came back. Why did they come back? They said that we go there, we sit in a long line, we are called in, the doctor takes a slip of paper and a pen and asks us, what is your problem? He doesn't even look at us. And as we are speaking, he keeps on writing the medicine. And then after 5 minutes says, okay, you go and you buy this medicine across, and you go there. And my dear sir, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, हमारी एलोपैथी मेडिसिन के ऊपर अंग्रेजी में लिखा रहता है सब कुछ, इंग्लिश में. पॉइजन भी लिखा होता है कई बार, पॉइजन टू बी टेकन ओनली अंडर डॉक्टर्स एडवाइस. पर गांव वाले लोगों को तो अंग्रेजी आती नहीं. गांव वाले लोगों को ये भी नहीं पता कि ये सिप्ला है कि CIPLA है कि SIPLA वाला सिप्ला है, कि दवाई असली है कि नकली है. तो वो जाके दवाई खरीदते हैं और कहते हो, डॉक्टर कहता है कि ये दवाई 5 दिन खाना, आ जाओ वापस. तो से we go back after 5 days. Again he takes a slip, looks down and says, हाँ, how is your cough? कि जी अभी तो है थोड़ी, अच्छा ये डोज कम कर दो. अभी सर थोड़ी ठंड लगने लग गई. अच्छा ठंड लगती है तो ये एक गोली और जोड़ लो. So they decided to come back to Ayurveda, where the Ved will hold their hand, their pulse, for 5 minutes. For 5 minutes he will hold the hand. He will look at your eyes. He will test your, other things. He will talk to you about your food, about your habits, and then give you the medicine. So, my dear sirs, education, the education, modern education, has it done good, unqualified good, or you think it is to be qualified? So what the argument I am building is through this, that education is not necessarily good. If it has to be good, you have to design it very carefully. only certain kind of education is good for the society and culture. Not all kinds, not all kinds. Then see, iska, beta, whoever is managing this, can you go down to 4? This was herbal medicine. Is there anything? Wastewater treatment, wastewater treatment process. ऊपर है बेटा, ऊपर जाइएगा. Wastewater treatment project. This one. Wastewater treatment. Wastewater जो निकलता है, you see every village generally has uh, at least two ponds around the village, in which the used water which is used by the village, dirty water, it goes into those ponds. And a little away, there is the third pond, which is a rain-fed pond. A pond which is, जिसको हम पोखर कहते हैं, पुष्कर से, पुष्कर, ये पोखर, तालाब होता है बहुत बड़ा, वो ज्यादा रेन वाटर का होता है, and the villagers take care not to put any filth into that. In that big pokhar, you see the animal, buffaloes and cows, they bathe, human beings bathe, and on the bank of that pond, there is a water pump dug 20 feet, and the drinking water is also taken from there. Now, those ponds, outside where the dirty water goes, they are generally left like that. And उसमें web, there is web of their जाला बन जाता है, web बन जाता है, and all that. So we started, thinking about how to handle that water, how to use it as a compost for certain plants, and also how to replace those ponds by what are called, the suction ponds. That is, you dig the hole 20 feet, 30 feet, and put stones and grass and other things in that, and the water goes into that and gets absorbed and is lost, and then there is no nothing, dirty water, no web, nothing and all that. So this, and then next, can we see next if there is anything more? Down, can you go down please? These were the young people who were with me, who were with me in this exercise. And then now move to the third column top, please. Third column top. This is Bhagat Singh Mehla, and this is Bhagat Phool Singh ji. This is the picture of Bhagat Phool Singh ji. I used to say that because this man has walked in this area, so this area has vibrations. This area has vibrations of social service, of service to the society, service to the people, right? Now go down please. Now this is women fetching drinking water. Now I don't think many of you know that in the villages, in the morning, forenoon, young girls go and fetch water, and in the afternoon, after finishing all the homework, the elder women, they go, and that is a social event also. They sit around the pump, take their turn, and they talk about their son and their daughter-in-law and their brother-in-law and the father-in-law and the mother-in-law, and also who is getting married, who is getting engaged. So that is a social interaction. And then they come back, and they generally walk with the pot on their head without holding it with their hands, which requires a poise. So the Haryana, it is not surprising that Manushi Chillar of Haryana became the beauty queen of the world, you see, because of the lifestyle which gives them poise, which gives them agility, physical exercise every day, and so on and so on. Come down then. Come down, please. This was Center for Society University Interface. Go to the next slide, please. Go to the next slide. Open the next slide. I think there was a Hindi slide also, but there's no need now. This is the फोर्थ साइड, या फोर्थ साइड, थोड़ा सा ऊपर करिएगा इसको देखने में, या नहीं नहीं ये नहीं देखना है, इसको छोड़ दीजिए, छोड़ दीजिए, ये ले लीजिए. Now this center was set up. Why was this center set up? We set it up to remedy the disconnect between the university and its environment. Disconnect. What we were teaching and studying in the university had nothing to do with the life of the people around the university. You see, nothing to do. The disciplines that we were teaching, you see, social work was, of course, one discipline which we thought that it could. But then, if you are familiar with social work in India, the Department of Social Work in Delhi University and Department of Social Work here and there, those departments are founded on a Darwinian assumption, that the rural India is backward India and that the rural India has to be developed. So the teachers are given a certain degree of arrogance in the way they talk to the village people. They talk down to them. They talk down to them that we have come now to develop you. आपको हम आपका विकास करने आए हैं, विकास. So I can't help telling you a joke here also. I was a witness in Ludhiana district in a village where these, Vikas people, these developmental ladies, they came and they were addressing the women. And one of them said that, बहनों, बहनों, अब हम आए हैं, अब आज के बाद हमेशा विकास होगा. तो one lady said, अरे बहन जी बड़ी मेहरबानी, यहाँ तो ज्यादा लड़कियां ही होती रही हैं, अब पहली बार विकास होगा. You see, thought the Eastern Secretary of Boys will be born. So, and they had great skepticism about. They will smile at these ladies. You see, smile at these ladies at their ignorance. But then the disciplines that we teach in the university, they had no relevance. For example, what was the occupation of people outside? It was agriculture. And so their problems were with tilling and removing the chaff from the grain, preserving the grain, watering the fields, and when the rains are not there, how to draw water from the ground, how much water to give to what, the weather and so on. But the university had nothing to do with it. Then it had to do with living. You see, getting water to drink. Water to drink is not simple. The women used to walk 2 kilometers to a hand pump, and that their 2 kilometer walk was all along a road which led from one city, Sonipat, to another city, Panipat, which means that senior officers, politicians, they were traveling through that road every day, and they were watching these women walking 2 kilometers to fetch the water. None of them ever thought of doing something. So the university had nothing to do with the environment, disciplines, and language. The university worked in English language. But when you came out of the university and crossed the road and sat to drink a cup of tea, nobody understood English. So the language of the university was not the language of the environment. I will tell you one very interesting, one young assistant professor. I will name him also. If he's listening, he will like it. Ajit Singh, a very handsome Jat, tall and handsome. And when he used to go to some other and a very tall, handsome, with a very, very wonderful, very highly educated, beautiful wife also. Both of them a wonderful pair. But then he was so handsome that, you see, when I went, I used to caution him. I said, you better watch out, because Sarita at home will take care of you. So this gentleman was with me, young man, and we sat down to have a tea. There was an old man sitting there, Jat, with a turban and all that. And he heard us talking. Then he asked this young man, "Ke tum karte kya ho?" क्या काम करते हो? What work do you do? He said, sir, I teach. मैं पढ़ाता हूँ. कहते अरे वो तो ठीक है, पर काम क्या कर? पढ़ाना उनके लिए कोई काम नहीं है कि आप काम क्या करते हो. इंग्लिश बोलते हैं, जो बस इंग्लिश बोलते हैं. पर अंग्रेजी बोलते हो? कोई और भाषा आती है? हमारी भाषा आती है. थर्ड इज वोकैबुलरी. How is it that the universities are in disconnect with the environment? Vocabulary का मतलब ये है, what is the vocabulary of our interaction with our students? Our vocabulary is of scientific excellence, of precision, of exactness, of one truth, of competition, of success, of rights, our rights, what rights we have. All this vocabulary, all these things that we teach, they, when you cross the road and go in the village, they are out of sync with the village. In the village, nobody talks of rights. You only talk of duties. In the village, when our girls, used to go home, and they were very excited and tell their mother, I am going to do this, then I am going to do this, then I am going to do this. The mother will say, अच्छी बात है, पर अभी तो घर आई हो, थोड़ा चैन से बैठ जाओ, थोड़ा पीसफुली बैठ जाओ, शांति से बैठ जाओ जरा. तो vocabulary. Fourth, values. Values. What values do we teach? We teach the value of succeeding at all cost, at the cost of our health, at the cost of our peace of mind. And what are the values? The value of success. It is not the value of happiness. It's not the value of contentment. We teach package philosophy. Package. उसके लड़के को 10 लाख का पैकेज मिला है, तुम्हें 8 लाख का क्यों मिला है? Package. Universities have become employment bureaus with package philosophy. Is this education? Tell me, is this education? Is this education going to do any good to the people? Next slide, please. Next slide. Universities are islands. The absent give and take relationship. ना वो अपनी environment को कुछ देते हैं, ना उससे कुछ लेते हैं. So what did we do? We had a department of social work, and the two girls who were teaching there, they happened to be my daughter's classmates from Delhi School of Social Work. And I told them that I am going to send you to the villages, but I am not going to send you to the village to talk down to the women. I am going to send you down to the villages to learn from the women, to learn from the old women, home medicine, to learn, preservation of fruit, achar jisko kehte hain, to learn how embroidery is made, to learn how do you manage water. आपको एक पॉट 4 लीटर वाटर मिलता है पीने का, तो वाटर मैनेजमेंट कैसे करते हो? How do you do that? Because I said it will come a little later. Our rural women are wonderful knowledge resource. उनके ज्ञान जितना, I once had a meeting with 500 girls of this university sitting in the hall. मैंने कहा आप में से कितनों को अचार बनाना आता है? हाथ खड़ा करिए. पढ़ने लग गए हैं, अब यूनिवर्सिटी में आ गए हैं, तो अब हम अचार नहीं बनाएंगे, अब हम जैम बनाएंगे. जैम, है ना, जैम्स बनाएंगे. जैम भी हमारी औरतें बनाती थी. मीठे जो मीठा आम का मुरब्बा बनता था, बनाती थी. पर वो चीज और है. बॉटलिंग होगी, अब पैकेजिंग होगी, वो चीज करेंगे, हम वो नहीं करेंगे. सबसे बड़ी बात, आई विल कम टू दैट ए लिटिल लेटर. आगे चलिए. नेक्स्ट. अच्छा, वन मोर थिंग. I said, look, I did another thing. I started inviting the old women from the villages to address our girls and our teachers. Reverse process. Rather than educated people, so-called educated, as Anand Kumara Swami says, This is how the victims of Indian education are described. Educated Indians. Instead of educated people going there, I invited the village women, old village women, to give talks on specific subjects. For example, when your daughter is going to get married, what all kinds of dresses you have to prepare. उसका कपड़ा कहाँ से आएगा, उसके धागे कहाँ से आएंगे, उसका knitting कौन करेगा, sewing कौन करेगा, you know, and they used to come, and it was a tremendous experience. So there was a give and take relationship. In fact, we could give very little. I'll give you an example of what we did give. You know, we asked one mother in the village that the pot of water you bring, one pot, you don't use it for 3 days, that water. So we measured the toxics in that water and have them examined from the laboratory in the city 33 kilometers away, and we got a report on what it contains. Now this is a clay pot. After 3 days, again we got it tested, and we found that many microbes, etc., which were there 3 days earlier, they had disappeared. In the clay pot, the water had become a little purified. That is why in your so-called Oros and Eureka Forbes, you use clay candles. Why do you use clay candles? Because the clay is the filtering material, right? So we measured it, and I went to see the development commissioner of Haryana, and got the appointment thanks to Dr. Pankaj Mittalji, the Vice Chancellor. And she said, "अरे sir, आप क्यों जाते हैं?" She was much junior to me, UGC में थी, और आप क्यों जाते हैं? मैं जाऊंगी, मैं आपके साथ जाऊंगी. हमने कहा नहीं, आप वाइस चांसलर हैं, आप यहीं रहिए, हम जाएंगे. I went to the development commissioner and I said कि देखिए, आप उधर से निकलते हैं, पानी का आप देखते हैं कि वो वाटर पंप जो है पौंड के किनारे है, वहां से पानी है, इसकी ये क्वालिटी है, तो प्यूरिफिकेशन का आपको कुछ करना चाहिए. You know what he said? This is your problem. आप लोगों की यही प्रॉब्लम है. आप चाहते हैं कि सब काम हम करें, आप भी तो कुछ करो. तो मेरे मन में तो आया कि मैं इनको बोलूं कि 65,000 रुपए का महीने का डीजल आप अपनी गाड़ी पे सरकार का खर्च करते हैं, है ना, और आपने अपने घर में तो कितने 2-3 यूरेका फॉर्बेस के लगा रखे हैं, पर आपको लोगों की चिंता नहीं होती है. Anyways, so this is a give and take relationship between society and the university has to be developed, and our learning, our teaching has to be tuned. That is education which will be good for the society and which will ultimately will be good for the culture also. If you don't teach your children success and you teach them contentment, I'll come to that a little later again. Chaliye aage, next slide please. People, village and land, these are our environment in the university, rural university. People, village and land. Next chaliye. Next slide please. Look at these girls, beautiful young girls, tall and lithe girls. And what are they carrying? They are carrying cow dung on their head, and they do not have the feeling that unka shoshan ho raha hai or they are being exploited. The duties in a village household, the duties are shared. Ladke subah, the boys, they take the cattle to graze and to wash, and the girls, they take the cow dung to a common place in the village where they dump all the cow dung. Now and look at this, she's a very cheerful girl, that girl in yellow. She was saying, no, don't take the photograph, but she didn't mind. I mean, she didn't really stop us. She said, don't take the photograph. But from their look and appearance, you cannot say that they mind carrying cow dung on their head. How many young girls today, young girls who pass out of a university, will carry cow dung on their head and still remain cheerful and dignified. 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 Why is cow dung important in Haryana? I will come to that a little later. Why this is a very necessary exercise. You see, they put it, dump it there. Then many of these girls are actually working. Some of them are teaching in schools. They go and teach. And their mothers in the afternoon, after lunch, they go to the common spot and then they make cow dung cakes. And of course, the little girls who are not working, the little girls, they also make the cow dung cakes. Now, why making cow dung cakes is important? In a state like Haryana, I'll give you one example, one very small idea. In the Commonwealth Games that were held in Delhi some 5, 7 years back, Commonwealth Games, India won India won 54 gold medals. 54 medals. Out of that, 52 medals were won by Haryana people, Haryana boys and girls. If Haryana was an independent country, it would have won more medals than India. And why did Haryana win medals? Because Haryana, unlike Punjab and Maharashtra, which at one time were very sturdy states with sturdy young men and women, good habits, milk drinking states. Those Punjab has become a drug state, and Maharashtra has become a political state, OBC and other. And with politics, there is drinking and drugs. So both these states are no longer good in sports. No longer good in sports. However, Haryana excels because Haryana still is a milk drinking state. Their whole food is built around milk. Milk, वो जो लस्सी जिसको कहते हैं, छाछ, butter, pure ghee, and good wheat ka roti, simple food, nourishing food. Vijender Singh, a boxer of Haryana, he knocked out 54 world-renowned boxers and did not lose a single boxing title. He was asked by a correspondent in London, "What is your food? What do you eat?" He said, I only drink milk and butter." And they say, "You don't eat eggs or meat?" He said, "No, we don't eat." Because in Kanpur Kala is in an area where, non-vegetarian food is varjit. You won't get even eggs in that whole area. So the whole state, gradually the city is catching on them. We are developing them by giving them the habits, our habits. But till then, Haryana is a state, Haryana whose boys, and if you have watched the World Wrestling Championships, World Boxing Championships, World Championships, you will find that Haryana girls have been winning the international competitions in wrestling and boxing also. And they have also won in the World Beauty Contest. You see, this is culture. And these are girls who are so humble. When the Indian girl, a Haryana girl, wins a gold medal in anything, or a silver medal or a bronze medal, when she goes to the podium, you see the difference how she stands. She stands in a different way from the Western ladies. She doesn't stand like this. She stands सिमटी हुई, सिमट के खड़ी होती हैं. And before they enter the wrestling, when they walk to the wrestling field, वो सिमट के walk करती हैं. In the wrestling arena, they are like lionesses, like tigresses. But otherwise, they are सिमटी हुई. And when they stand for victory, they are सिमटी. This is culture. And this culture comes from the sanskar, what has come to us as a heritage for generations of our people, Come to the next one. Next one, please. Look at this old woman. Her slippers are down. She's sitting in a traditional cot. वो बीच में धसी हुई. She is a toothless, 80-year-old woman. We asked her age. She is an 80-year-old woman, and she is very happy. Look at her happiness. You know why she is happy? Because look over her shoulder. There is the grandson peeping from behind. Grandson. Do you see the grandson? आपको grandson दिख रहा है? घर देखिए ऐसी है, खाट वैसी पुरानी है, कोई बड़ा बड़ा क्या क्या कहना चाहिए, स्टाइल का फर्नीचर नहीं है, कपड़े भी आम हैं, but look at the happiness and look at the happiness coming from that boy. Part of the reason that grandson पीछे खड़ा है, छुप के खड़ा है, वो भी कैमरा देख के वो आगे आके, he has not come forward because there is a camera and stand by. No, he is hiding. He is hiding. This is culture, part of culture. दादी से बात हो रही है तो मुझे वहां नहीं जाना है, grandmother के बात हो रही है, मुझे नहीं वहां जाना है. He is there. Go to the next one. This is people. Next slide, please. Look at this. Every morning, an animal is fed by the villagers. तसला बाहर रखा होता है और ये जो घूमते हैं, ये जो जिनको बुल्स होते हैं, वो आके खाते हैं, उनका हिस्सा है. हर जानवर का हिस्सा है, कुत्ते का भी हिस्सा है, चींटियों का भी हिस्सा है, परिंदों का भी हिस्सा है, इंसानों का तो है ही. और शहर के लोग तो अपने ही लोगों को नहीं खिलाते, जानवर को तो क्या खिलाएंगे. शहरों में जितनी cows used to roam Delhi, people used to complain, they have been picked up and most of them have been most probably killed. You see? So stray animals, we have the concept of stray animals. I think there are more stray human beings than stray animals in a city like Delhi. Go next. Coexistence and sharing. Next. These are old parents. See, look at the house. Very ordinary. Not very people. Look at the clean clothes that the old people are wearing. Old people are wearing. You don't see any young one around because the young people have already gone to work. And the clean clothes they are, wearing. And go to the next. Sharing with the old. Sharing with the, go back, please go back. One moment, go back, please. Go back to slide 4, please. You see, sharing with the old. Acha chaliye, next. I think next theek hai. Go to 5. This old man is ill. And look at the brick wall. It is a very ordinary villager's household, very little land, you see. But the father, he is put in clean sheets, clean bed sheets, clean this, and what he removed, what the son removed, he was also given a hookah. The son removed it, thinking that what will people think. Then I asked him, he said, sir, in his own language, he told me, the doctors have forbidden कि इनको हुक्का नहीं देना है, पर सर all life he has been smoking hookah and he wants at least once a day, once a day. So I give him once a day. Just this is caring for the sick and old. In this God-forsaken cities, in the city culture, people have a room for the dog, but they don't have a room for their parents. They will keep a dog, a whole room to the dog, but they don't have the room for parents. This is culture. And if education is only going to train you to keep pet dogs and be indifferent to your parents, tell me, sir, whether education is something which is good for the culture and society. So as I said, it is only particular kind of education that is good. We have to think of particular kind of education. Go to next one. Go to next, please. Look at this woman, Shant Rasa. She's totally at peace. It is around 2:30, 2 o'clock. She has fed everyone in the family. She is the grandmother. She doesn't look it, but she's the grandmother. She has cooked and fed everyone, cleaned the kitchen, और चूल्हे को मट्टी का पोछा भी लगाया है, और साफ करके दूध की हांडी साफ करके दूध की ये ऊपर रखी है. And she is just sitting completely at peace with herself and with the world. I never see my wife in that peaceful state, although she is a very wise lady. But peace, peace comes from a total environment, value system, value system. If you cook only for yourself and you don't give food to the animal, you don't cook for the beggar. There are no beggars. But in the Haryana villages, there are people who provide services, who have no land, They are given a small 1-2 room set by the village people. And because they have no land, all the food, grain, grain, milk, and other things are given to them as their share by the villagers. You don't need money in a Haryana village to eat. You don't need money. You will be fed. You will be fed, taken care of. So this is peace. Go next. Next, please. Next. This is the land. This is a pond in which the buffaloes are having a good wash. And it is a sight. You see, when I used to travel to that place, I used to keep a tab on this. This is a very big pond. I could not catch the whole. It's a very big pond, and it is all rainwater. And as summer advanced, its level went down. And as its level went down, I used to start worrying. अरे पानी कम हो रहा है, पीने का पानी कम हो जाएगा, फिर भैंसे कहाँ नहाएंगी. And a time will come in the first or second week of June when the water will be really near the bottom of the pond. But then the rains come. The rains come and gradually it fills up. And then there is a huge downpour or two and there is a bubbling of water. Not only the water is full, even the water birds come. The water birds come and they float on this pond. You see, the cycles of nature you witness. You see, from the cycles of nature, you learn the lesson that life is a constant change. There is a dynamics to life and a constant change is there. Next, please. But this life is under siege of an education that is the mouthpiece of urban-centered, big development and population unfriendly industrial technology civilization. इसमें बहुत बातें कही गई है. ये जो लाइफ है जो आपने देखी, ये इसको खतरा है. This life is endangered. Endangered by what? By education, by our education system. Because this education is urban centered. गांव वाले हैं, ये तो गंवार है, ये तो गंवार है. Do you think those girls are gawar that you saw? Do you think that old lady who is smiling and happy, she is a gawar? Are you capable of that much happiness? Or do you think that lady who has cooked for everybody, fed everybody, and is now just at peace with herself, is she a gawar? But urban-centered education, big development-oriented. Development is a, you see, is a Darwinian world. Darwinian. In a concept of time which is linear. Linear time में चीजें बदलती हैं और अच्छाई के लिए बदलती हैं. आप डेवलप कर रहे हैं. अगर डेवलप करने का मतलब ये है कि आप अपने पेरेंट्स के साथ बात नहीं करेंगे. अगर पेरेंट्स फर्स्ट फ्लोर पे हैं तो आप उनके साथ मोबाइल पे बात करेंगे. आप सुबह जाके उनसे मिलेंगे नहीं. If this is development, then I think it is better that we don't have that development. Don't have that development. And population unfriendly. There are many other things I won't, because I think I've taken a lot of time already. Population unfriendly industrial technology civilization. The technology that we talk about, that everybody talks about in India, is an industrial technology. It was invented by European countries, which were cold countries, permafrost, which had very little food, and to get the food, they had to produce, manufacture things which they could sell and get food. So they set up big industries, industrial revolution, industry. And industry is for industry, industrial civilization is an urban civilization. If you know what it did, you have to read Dickens novels. You read Dickens, Hard Times, and you find what this industrial civilization did to human happiness, how much displacement it caused. But our education, I was invited by IIT Roorkee for their special, they have institute lecture. And I put these things there. I say, you see, Europe had to have, what India needs is not industrial technology. What India needs is agricultural technology. Agricultural technology. You have fields which are being watered, and the channels which carry the water in the month of June, they are open. There is so much evaporation, loss of water. Have our IITs ever thought how to conserve that water, precious water, which is given in the fields? Our bullock cart, which is a 10,000-year-old contraption, our IITs have not been able to build a better wheel for them, a better wheel for them. You see, so our country is an agricultural country, and our technology had to be agricultural technology. But our education is teaching. That's why our people who pass out from IIT, they go to Europe, they go to America. We spend lakhs of rupees on them, and then they go and become cheap labor in those countries. In those countries. Next, please. Next. Next slide. Insanity. Cities are the focus, but in the villages, the consequence: insanitary conditions and filth, poor basics of drinking water. This is, I must tell everybody, this was done by us in 2011, 3 years before Modi ji started talking of these things. See, poor basics of drinking water, energy to cook, warm and light up, loss of rural livelihoods, increasing unemployment, and drudgery. Drudgery. Go to the next slide. I have some photographs to show. Look at the city bridge on the right, and look at the city roads, and look at the village road. Village road. This is development. It is a lopsided development. Next slide. Next slide. Look at the overbridge here. Overbridge. And look at the bridge on a nala in the village on the left side. Next slide, please. Look at the salage. Poor basics. Nothing has been done. Big building is there, but nothing has been done to handle the salage, the dirty water. It breeds mosquito. Luckily, the villagers eat pure food. They don't get malaria, but the mosquitoes are bred there, and then luckily they come to the cities and give city people malaria, which is not a bad idea. Next. Drudgery, carrying heavy weights. It's very simple. एक छोटा सा एक पहिया लगा के ऐसे करके एक चीज बनानी है जिसमें माता जी अपना गट्ठर रख के ले जाएंगी. But no, nobody thinks about this. Nobody thinks about this. Next. Next. What was this like? In 2010-11, that village Khanpur Kala, it had a garbage-free life cycle. There was no garbage. क्योंकि वहां कोई पॉलीथीन का ये खट्टा मीठा और कुरकुरे कुछ नहीं बिकते थे. वहां की लड़कियां बेसन की बर्फी और पनीर वाले समोसे खाती थी बस, और साथ में लस्सी पीती थी या दूध पीती थी, चाय भी नहीं पीती थी. And they were tall, I tried to introduce flying in that university for girls, So the girls can take to like Vanasthali Vidyapeeth, that there should be a flying school. We had enough land, but you know the governments, they do not respond. They didn't allow. We said we have 30 acres and we will create an airfield, and we in that airfield, and so on and so on. Because the girls are so tough, so tall, so sprightly, so alert, quick. They would have become wonderful flyers. Luckily now Indian girls are becoming fighter pilots. You see, pilots of fighter planes, and the material for such will come from villages. Our combat infantry comes from villages. 18-year-old young men who, when they carry 36 kilogram of armament and climb up the hill at night in Kargil with 36 kilogram, they don't ask the question, what is India? Where is India? Why? What is motherland? What is motherland? Is India a country? They don't ask. They know only one thing: Matribhumi. It is our Matribhumi, and I have to defend it. They have no question. They have no cynicism. They have no skepticism. And but the people who come out of our education institutions, at best they are ignorant. At worst they have contempt for themselves. Contempt for themselves. Happiness quotient was, there is a great happiness quotient. सुबह निकलिए आप, everybody who is walking on the road, old and young, राम राम जी, राम राम जी. मैंने कहा भैया दिल्ली में राम राम जी मत कह देना, लोग पकड़ लेंगे, कहेंगे आप आरएसएस के आदमी हो. जो बोल रहा है राम राम जी, uncheerfully. And people are so helpful, so good. You see, one evening I was walking, and a young driver of the university bus, who only used to see me and never talked. He saw me walking and a little dark, and he came and asked me, sir, kahan ja rahe ho aap? I said, my wife has a little problem, so main sadak par ja raha hu. I am crossing the road. I have to take some medicine from a chemist. He said, sir, I will come with you. मैंने कहा अरे nothing, ये तो this gate निकल के I have to go. कि नहीं sir, अगर if you don't get the medicine here, I will get it for you from Kharkhoda, from that town, which is 14 kilometers away. अगर आपको यहाँ नहीं मिलेगी तो मैं आपको वहां से लाके दूंगा. This is culture. He didn't know me. He only saw me. I am in the university. I am a teacher, and it is dark, and I am old, and I am walking. So I must be having something, some problem. So the happiness comes from this. Happiness doesn't come from searching for it for yourself. Happiness comes if you make other people happy. And that you learn through your culture, through your sanskar, being beneficiaries of a bountiful mother nature. The happiness also comes from the fact there is a regular cycle. वर्षा आती है, खेती लगती है, खेती पकती है, अनाज निकलता है, उसके बाद फिर आप उसको बोते हो, काटते हो, पलाते हो, फिर बारिश आती है, फिर पौंड भरता है. You know, a nature, bountiful nature. India is blessed by all the seasons, all the climates. We have the world's largest continuous arable land, largest continuous arable level arable land. You see, and that's why it is a mother. The river which waters the plains is also a mother. Like mother, they nourish us. A consequent, enduring worldview. Because of this happiness, because of this bountiful nature, we have an enduring worldview with an ancient pedigree. What is that enduring worldview? नीचे मैंने कुछ शब्द लिखे हैं. ये हमारा इंडिया का वर्ल्ड व्यू है. कंटेंटमेंट, गौधन, गजधन, बाजधन और रतन धन खान, जब आवे संतोष धन, सब धन धूरी समान. सब धन धूरी समान. कहाँ चढ़ावे मेड़ियां, लंबी भीती उसार, घर तो 3.5 हाथ, घना तो 4.25. You see, to be contented with what you have got, what has come to you, what you have earned by your labor. And contentment comes from what? It comes from karuna, compassion, kindness, forgiveness, righteousness, restraint, doing the things in the right way, niyam, and reverence. Reverence for objects, reverence for nature, reverence for people, reverence for the old. You know, in our culture, even today, I have myself had experiences, I tell you, believe me, that when I used to travel, I have had experiences at the age of 77, 78 at various airfields. I found young girls and boys, you know, in the airlines, working airlines, who would, you know, who would go out of the way to help me. They will promote my ticket from economy to the business. कि सर आप आराम से लेट के जाएंगे और आप आराम से, and sir I am putting a high priority slip on your bag. You won't have to stand in Delhi. You will get your bag first of all. Very kind. Christians, Muslims, Hindus, religion make no difference. So करुणा, दया, क्षमा, धर्म, संयम, नियम और श्रद्धा, रेवरेंस, श्रद्धा हमारे लिए ऑब्जेक्ट्स अगर किसी ने, if you have bought a motorbike and it has served you for years, my motorbike, if you can't be here, if you go down, my motorbike which I bought in 1966 is still standing because you know, it has served me. It is like my father and mother who were with me. You see, I had an old ambassador, and when I bought a Maruti, and my daughter was very ashamed when she was a child of our old ambassador, and she used to say, drop me a little away from the school so that my friends don't see what car has brought me here. But then when I wanted to sell it, she won't let me sell it. She said, no, because her grandfather and grandmother, she said, used to travel in it. So they are not to be sold. Only finally, when we gave it to a small child, a children's school, she agreed. So, you know, reverence for objects. हरियाणा में 4-4 generations की गाय बंधी रहती हैं, दूध नहीं देती हैं, बंधी रहती हैं, क्योंकि वो बुजुर्गों की तरह है. उन्होंने आपके फादर को दूध पिलाया है, तो उनको रहना है. They are looked after. So you see, this culture today, हम कहते तो बहुत हैं, गौ हत्या बंद होनी चाहिए, गौ हत्या बंद होनी चाहिए, हथवाड़े बंद होने चाहिए, पर बूढ़ी गाय को बेचता कौन है? गाय जो दूध नहीं देती उसको छोड़ता कौन है? हिंदू ही छोड़ते हैं. हमारा धर्म ही संकट में है, धर्म ही संकट में है. जब हमने अपना ध्यान करना शुरू कर दिया और उसको कहा ये तो जानवर है, उसको जानवर समझ लिया, तो संकट हो गया. नेक्स्ट. अच्छा ऋचा जी, शुड आई स्टॉप? इट्स 3:30. ऋचा जी
सर,
should I stop now? I think we can continue this lecture some other time then, later.
सर आई थिंक हाँ, schedule time 1:30 तक, 3:30 तक, और next session हमारा 4 बजे है. There is a break time now actually, sir, but I leave it to the participants if sir could continue for another 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes. Is it okay with the faculty members?
उनको चाय पीने दीजिए,
chat में डाल देंगे क्या? Is the chat enabled?
चाय पीजिए, कोई बात नहीं, चाय पीने दीजिए.
Can you please put it
enough for today.
Chat is enabled. Chat enabled hai, sir. I would just request the participants, can we continue for another 10 minutes or so? And don't put me a direct chat, please put it to everybody. Sabko dal dijiye so that we know. Sir, yes, we can. I think maybe we can continue till 3:45.
All right.
Is it okay with everyone?
Okay.
Okay, Sanjeev Kakkar ji कह रहे हैं, sir, questions पूछने हैं. They want to ask questions.
Questions बाद में पूछ लेंगे. Questions 2 मिनट पूछ लेंगे. इसमें नेक्स्ट स्लाइड देखिए. कंटेंटमेंट का बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट है कि हम देखिए, our education philosophy is the philosophy of success. Long time back, when my daughter got only 71% marks in metric, 10th class, she said, what should I? said, you have got 71, I got only 65%. So don't worry. She says, I don't want to read mathematics. I said, don't. Physics, I don't. I said, don't. What do you want to, should I study? Whatever you want to study. And she had a strange combination, home science and biology. Home science and biology, you see. And then she did her 12th again, sir. I said, what do you want to do? I want to do psychology honors. She did that. When I told her, you give up mathematics if it causes you tension. She said, Papa, you are very strange. Other parents, they insist that you have to do science and this and that. Then I told her one thing. And now she uses it, quotes it to her daughter. I said, Beta, pursue happiness in life, not success. The world is full of successful people, but the world lacks good people. Good people are generally happy people. See? And happy people are generally good. If you read Jean Valjean's, that novel, Les Miserables, there is a contradiction to this. Jean Valjean comes out of the jail. He is hungry. He is wearing the jail clothes. Nobody gives him food. Then as he is walking, it is evening now, houses are lighted up. He sees in the window that a young couple, they are playing with their baby and they are laughing. And he thought, where there is so much happiness, there must be goodness. He went inside, but they threw him out. Because he was in a wrong country. He was in a wrong culture. He should have been in India. Then it would not have happened to him. So come to the next one now. What CSUR seeks to do. What do you think? We set up this department. UGC has no such discipline. It is not a recognized discipline. But this department is still running. It is flourishing. It is earning 2 lakh rupees for the university every year. You see, reconnect the university and its environments in language, vocabulary, establish students' interface with the community through add-on innovative courses, promote small, this is important, nature-friendly, society-friendly technology. Nature-friendly. ये जो massive water pumps हैं, which draw so much water from the ground that the water does not get replenished in one rainy season. They are bad. They are not nature-friendly. In Punjab, which is a land of 5 rivers, now it is a land of 2.5 rivers in our side. But even then, big rivers, the water level has fallen from what it was. At 5 feet, you used to get water when I was a child. Now you get water at 150 feet. And through the chemicals, the land has become polluted. There is a train which runs from Gurdaspur to Chandigarh. The train is called Cancer Express. Cancer Express. Farmers have begun to suffer from cancer. Why? Because green revolution was a greed revolution. It was not just a green revolution. It was a greed revolution to produce as much from the land as you could. Earlier, the farmer used to keep the land fallow for one season. See, one crop, then no crop, then crop. You see, or plant the greens which gives nitrogen to the earth, nourishment to the earth. But now we take five crops from the land every day. You see, so not nature friendly, not society friendly, but human greed friendly technologies. Earlier 30 young men used to reap one field and they used to get a salary. Now we have a harvester, a huge harvester, which harvests the field and takes away the job of 30 people. These technologies are for countries which have a small population, but a country like India, which has a huge population, we should not have such technologies, because such technologies, they take away employment. And later on you will see, and work for clean air and water and streets, health and sanitation. Our girls went to a village कि ये dirty ponds जो हैं, इनका 21,000 रुपए में you can create a suction pond, तो suction हो जाएगा. तो पहले तो 5 बार गई तो सरपंच मिला ही नहीं. छठी बार the sarpanch was found in a ठेका. He was drinking And the Sarpanch told these girls, कि तुम्हें क्या मतलब है? What do you have to do with it? Why are you interfering? करना होगा तो हम आप कर लेंगे, भाग जाओ यहाँ से. Then why I went and we went with some people. They said, no, we don't want it. We don't want it. And then we put it to the development commissioner also. He said, no, if they don't want it, why should we do it? I said, you know, in 63,000 rupees, 32,000 rupees, 42,000 rupees, 42,000 rupees, you can make the village clean. And the village roads inside the village always become slushy, because they put bricks. Bricks don't work. You have to put stone. Harappa and Mohenjo-daro had stone streets. Stone. You have to put stone. So you have to change the rural technology of making roads. Only then it will work. So working for this and all that. Chaliye, next, quick, please. Quick. Add-on courses to take these were the courses we introduced. Integrated energy resource management, folk medicine, microfinance practices, and small initiatives. Small initiatives like, mushroom farming, like that. Anyway, I must tell you that we thought of that the women, they use the hand pump to draw water. And the hand pumps are not very light, you see, very thick matter. It effort lagta hai. And generally, young women fine, older women in the afternoon. So we thought of putting a fan like the windmill, the inverted fan, ulta pankha, inverted fan like a windmill on top, which will, keep pushing up and pushing down the hand pump. And then we thought of, making a storage of water, from where the water through the clay moved into another storage, and from the taps, the women could take clean water. Of course, for taps, we thought of putting iron cover, because otherwise some nashedi will take the tap away in the evening, you see. So that we used to do. But we had planned all this. We had no laboratories. We didn't have an engineering department, but we thought of all these things with the girls. We thought of this with the girls. Go next. Well, look at these. These are the small technologies, for example, milking. Do you know that the ghee made of buffalo milk, it costs 500 rupees a kg, but a ghee made of a cow costs 1000 rupees kg, and a ghee made of a Indian cow costs 1500 rupees a kg. So if you could teach some women, to have a small dairy of 10 or 15 cows, Indian cows, they will make an earning themselves. And of course, from crafting and other things. Go next. We don't have much time. Please move next. ये home, पीछे. Go back. This is home remedies. ये जो हमारे किचन में जो हमारी चीजें उपयोग में आती हैं, ये सब दवाइयां हैं. अदरक है, हल्दी है, लाल मिर्च है, ये दवाइयां हैं. हरी मिर्च सूखी हुई है. These are all medicines. And our rural old women and our own old women, they used to know what to do with them for small ailments. Go next. So bring a new philosophy. Bilateral partnership in knowledge sharing. University should share its knowledge with the environment and take knowledge from the environment. Promote autonomy, स्वावलंबी, आत्मनिर्भर आ गया शब्द, हमने स्वावलंबी यूज किया था 2011 में. स्वावलंबी गांव in meeting its needs. And third, self-governing in sharing and producing. Cooperative movement, self-governing in sharing and producing. Go next. Encourage small self-employment initiatives, handicrafts, food utilities, and so on. Next. Help fabricate small nature-friendly technologies. This is very interesting. And even if you are late and you are not going to have your tea, you must listen to this part. You see, harvester takes away the job of, let us say, 20 young men. So I contacted a local, technician, kya कहने हैं, Lohar, about from Jagadhri, 150 kilometers away, and I asked him whether he can develop a handheld reaper. A handheld reaper. You see, the problem with reaping is that you have to sit down and use the sickle. It's very tiring. But if you can have a handheld reaper, you see, then the speed will be also more. You will be able to reap more, and men can stand and reap, or women can stand and reap. And he developed it. It was tentative. He brought it. It was, you see, there are small, because we are not an engineering college. We only had ideas. We didn't have technology labs and all that. But I put all these things to the IIT people, and they felt very, very bad that, they were not thinking like this, you see. And then go next. I tell a very important, you see, cow dung is very important, because Haryana is a beautiful state, has been a beautiful state, because its people are, the staple food is milk, which means cattle. It is a cattle-based cattle. And if there is cattle, there is going to be cow dung. If there is cow dung, you have to use it. You have to use it as a fuel, or you have to use it as compost. If you don't use it, it will pile up. It will become rotten. It will become, it will become garbage, and your village will become dirty. And people will gradually stop keeping cattle. And then instead of the real milk, you will have the mother dairy milk, the milk in a packet, which has started happening in Haryana. And gradually, the entire Punjab state was ruined like this. In Punjab, do you know that there are places where the one cow dung, now people want to go back to cow dung to cook. You see, and one cow dung, one cake costs 7 rupees in Punjab. 7 rupees. And handling the cow dung became such a problem that people stopped keeping cows. So the gaushalas, they have, huge amount of cow dung. What do you do with them? How do you do with them? They are gaushalas, no agricultural land, kuch nahi hai. So they imported a machine from China costing 7.5 lakh rupees, which changed 1 kilo of cow dung into compost in 1.5 hours. It doesn't work. So it is a civilizational choice. Mechanization or health, you see. And therefore, go next. I'll show you what we did. Promote in revision interior architecture. The village homes are, very dark and old times, when there were invaders and robbers and thieves and all that. Now, if you tell them to rebuild the home, they don't want to tinker with it, because their grandfather lived in this room. How can I remove this room? My father was in this room. So you cannot change their homes. You cannot break them and build again. But what you need is revision architecture. This phrase I used, and Nottingham University delegation had come. They took it. They were very happy, and they have started using it in their own literature now. What is called revision architecture. How do you revise the architecture of the home without destroying the presence of those who are no longer alive? And the civic work in drainage and streets, as I said, by stone, not by bricks, and then that is better for healthy environment. Next, please. Next, quick.
Dr. Kapoor, Dr. Anil Sahasrabuddhe has come to the session.
Okay.
And our next session is from 4, sir. I just wanted to give you a reminders. That's
नहीं पर एक अगली स्लाइड एक दिखा दीजिए एक और. I want to see show them that. Next please. Next. This machine ना पहली पिछला this one. This is a cow dung making machine because now the educated girls don't want to make cow dungs with their hand. So this machine was fabricated by the village Lohar and it cost only 12,000 rupees. It could be operated by hand or by electricity because electricity is not always available. And it has no SIM and it has no chip. So it can be repaired locally in the village. Of course, the cow dungs which came out, they were not completely dry. No, it was a little small problem, technological, which we could handle. IIT people told me, Roorkee people, this is a very small thing. It can be done very easily. And now go to the next one. This was a village. This is a single family biogas cylinder and gas. Single family. The problem with villages is there is a common storage of the cow dung. So the common and the biogas. Then biogas is distributed in the. Everybody wants the biogas first, but nobody wants to clean the well in which the biomaterial is stored. So they have all gone out of use. So we thought we should have a single family biogas cylinder. उन्हीं की 5-4 भैंसे हैं, उसी की बायोगैस, छोटा सा वहीं पे अपना स्टोरेज और बायोगैस, ये भी बड़ा बढ़िया था. इससे भी गैस जलती है. प्रॉब्लम क्या है कि प्रेशर we cannot control. But then this is a small problem. We were not an engineering college. We could not control the pressure. The IIT people said we could, but then I left the university. I don't know what has happened after that. But I hope, sir, I hope you have got an idea that an education which has a relationship with culture and society, values, and what the society needs is the education that we should promote, and not an education that we have borrowed from abroad and which is thrown down from the heavens on the heads of people. Thank you very much.